So out west we got San Antonio Spurs and the Houston Rockets. Who do you like? Who do you guys like for that series?
I'm gonna have to go with Houston 6. I think James Harden's gonna have a really big series. Everybody's saying Westbrook's the MVP, and I think this is the time he can show it. You know, I've seen James Harden play great against Spurs back when he was in OKC, so I know he can do it. So I'm thinking it's all about him. He's the X factor. He's everything. If he can actually have an MVP type series, I think they can win. Because everybody's already ruling them out. They're thinking Spurs, Kawhi Leonard, but I think James Harden is underrated. To be honest with you, as much as it sounds crazy, he should have won MVP 2 years ago. If you ask me. So I think James Harden's gonna have a big series, almost like a triple double series. And I'm going with Houston at 6.
I think this series is going to 7. And I could argue for either ways. Like, I love both teams. I love James Harden. But Kawhi is going to be guarding him all series. And that's like, I think that's going to be a great matchup for that Kawhi James. That's going to be fun to watch. Personally, I'm going Spurs in 7. But wouldn't be surprised again. Houston took it. But I'm going Spurs.
I think Spurs at 5. Max 6.
Disrespect.
No. It's not even on Harden. It's not. Harden's gonna have his 39 and 9 shooting whatever percentage he's shooting. It's the rest of that team. Because Ryan Anderson was struggling against OKC. If Ryan Anderson is not shooting the ball like he should, he can't guard LaMarcus Aldridge. So LaMarcus Aldridge is putting up 30 on him, and Ryan Anderson is putting up 4. Dwayne Dedmon's a really good defender down low, so Clint Capella is not getting what he's getting. Pau Gasol off the bench is just crazy. I would never imagine Pau Gasol off the bench, especially on the Spurs team. Kawhi is going to do what Kawhi does. They have nobody that can guard him. James Harden's too small to guard Kawhi Leonard.
How about Ariza?
Trevor Ariza is too old to guard Kawhi Leonard. It is his series this series. Kawhi is going to 30 and 8, and he is taking this series.
I just don't like that Spurs don't have like a solid point guard. Parker's
They don't.
He's not the same.
They got
Patty Mills is nice.
He's more of a
He
shooter.
reminds me of
He's a spot up.
He's like a backup point.
No, I see. Overall, Spurs is a better team, but if Houston can make their shots, I see them this going to like even 7 because if they're making their shots, the game's faster, and Spurs can't play fast. But if Houston hits their shots and they get up and down the court in that D'Antoni system, pass, shoot.
You're right. If their shots, it's gonna be hard to stop all those guys because they have depth too. Off the bench, Eric Gordon, that's gonna be a key. If those guys can get hot, that's gonna be because we've seen Spurs lose. Like, don't act like Spurs win every year. We've seen them lose last year, so it can be done. It can definitely be done. But this could also be the year that Spurs win. Like, that series, I think it was star power, and that's a big key in playoffs. Like, that's the reason why LeBron James won last year because he went ballistic. Him and Kyrie, 41. When you have a player who can just Kawhi could do that though for the Spurs. I didn't think he could do that until I seen it this year. Mm-hmm. He could do that.
Yeah, he stepped up.
So he stepped up, definitely. I seen that when against Memphis when he's hitting those big shots.
Yeah. Who are your X factors for this series for Houston and Spurs?
X factors for Houston and Spurs. I think Houston X factors is hitting shots. That's their game. That's D'Antoni. Then they just want to keep scoring. Who cares? You scoring, I'm scoring too. Scoring more. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say hitting shots with that. Sure. And Spurs, Paul Gasol coming off the bench because Houston has some depth in the bench too. So if Paul Gasol can have a good series, they can definitely end it in whenever, 7-6, whenever. So I think that's the X factor for Spurs.
For Spurs, I think it's LaMarcus Aldridge. He's got to play good. Kawhi's going to do Kawhi things. He's going to guard James Harden the best he can. He's going to play great offense. But I think LaMarcus Aldridge needs to help him out. On a team, I don't know who on Houston would be guarding LaMarcus Aldridge. Capella, Ryan Anderson.
Nene.
Oh, Nene. Yeah, Nene's pretty good. So LaMarcus Aldridge has to have a game for has to play good defensively and offensively for the Spurs to win games. Offense for Houston, I guess, yeah, just hitting shots, same thing. Houston's just got to play something they've been doing all season, so you know they're gonna do it. They hit their shots. James Harden's not gonna back down from Kawhi Leonard. It's just gonna be a great series.
Go X factor for the Spurs. I agree with the Pau Gasol thing, but I think the X factor is probably the 1 and 2 guards. The bigs do the thing, Kawhi will do his thing, but can Tony Parker, can Danny Green, can Patty Mills, can Manu, can they do their thing? Can they score when they need to be, when Kawhi's getting double teamed, or when LaMarcus needs to get the ball out of his hand? Like, can they score late shot situations and late clock situations, and maybe even play defense? Like, Danny Green's going to have to play defense on probably Eric Gordon or Lou Williams, whoever's doing better that game. Can he play defense on those guys? Like, he's a decent defender. So it comes down to that, and then I guess Tony Parker as well. Can he can't play defense. So it comes down to can he score, I guess. And then for Houston, it's the same thing as the Raptors to me. Your star's going to put in work, but can the rest of the guys make shots? Obviously, Houston has a more consistent shot-making team. Ryan Anderson can shoot. Eric Gordon's going to shoot. Lou Williams can shoot. Trevor Ariza, obviously. But can Ryan Anderson come back from that last series? He had to make buckets when he's open. Also, I think James Harden's a big X factor. Last series against OKC, I think they lucked out that Westbrook was just jacking shots up in the fourth. Harden had a good series, but there were some games. I think there's a couple games in there where he didn't have like amazing games, and I don't think you can't do that against Spurs and still take a W. Especially with Kawhi, especially with LaMarcus, even Powell, who at this time, even if he's old, he's still going to score the ball. Like, you can't not have a good game against Spurs and expect to win.